Hello everyone, this is Steve McGladdery. First let me say that it's a pleasure to be addressing all of you again, and I am delighted to introduce this technology to you. For those of you who don't know, LibraryThing.com is an online service available to all for cataloging books, sharing information about those books, and communicating with other users about books in a community of over 1.4 million people. These members represent many different countries from all over the world, demonstrating more than 50 languages in which the site is available. In the course of this presentation, we intend to introduce this technology to you, give you an in-depth demonstration of how to use the technology, and discuss how libraries have implemented it. As I stated before, LibraryThing.com is an online cataloging, metadata, and social networking tool that can be used to search information about books, catalog a single book, or enter an entire library. In fact, if you have a QCat scanner, you can even scan the books into the system rather than typing them all out one by one. Members of LibraryThing can make use of a wishlist tag to glean information about books they're interested in reading. This is a tool not only used by individuals, but LibraryThing is also used by publishers, booksellers including Amazon.com, and over 700 libraries. The site draws the majority of its data from these sources, but most particularly from Amazon.com and the Library of Congress. LibraryThing was developed by Tim Spalding and first launched in August of 2005. By 2006, it had 5 million books. That number would double in 2007, and by 2009 would shoot up to 35 million. As of November 2011, it reported over 68 million books. Users have generally found LibraryThing to be more enjoyable and user-friendly than sites like Delicious Library or Goodreads.com. Hello, and welcome to the interactive part of this presentation. Eventually you'll be getting much more in-depth information in the demonstration portion of the presentation, but I thought a brief tour of the website would provide beneficial background information before we delve into all of that too deeply. The first thing we're going to be looking at is the local page. This page allows you to search book dealers and libraries by location, as well as upcoming book-related events. Well, now that that's loaded, why don't we check Detroit, Michigan, and see what's going on with Wayne State and the libraries and booksellers around it. Here this calls up a convenient map, several locations. Let's check out John King Bookstore, a 4-level used and rare bookstore in the heart of Detroit. You can see this gives you the address, phone number, as well as user comments about this location. Next we'll move on to the Groups tab, which is fairly self-explanatory. Here you'll find groups about books, authors, genres, and these are organized in a number of ways, standing groups, and they're even organized by location, so you can find groups near you. The next tab is the Talk tab. This is basically a gigantic message board for questions, discussions, news items, and interesting facts. You can also see a number of different languages if you browse around the site a bit more. This and the Group tab act as the social networking part of this cataloging website. This Zeitgeist tab is extremely interesting in that it provides an overview for LibraryThing and gives a general impression of what book enthusiasts are up to. It can tell you anything from the most entered book to the highest and lowest rated authors to the most prolific reviewers on the site. So this shows you how it's not only a cataloging site, but also a social networking tool to bring book lovers together. And we are back to the main page now. All you have to do is sign in, sign up for free. I believe I'm planning to, because the idea of spending my winter break cataloging my home library sounds like quite a lot of fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed this introductory discussion. Thank you very much for your time.
Hi everyone, I'm Becky. I'm going to explain to you how to sign up for LibraryThing and some of the different services. There's a free account which allows you to catalog up to 200 books and a paid account which allows you to catalog any number of books. It's $10 a year and $25 for a lifetime. There's also an organizational account which is mostly for law offices and churches. You can have 5,000 books or 10,000 books with permission. LibraryThing is a cataloging application which searches Library of Congress and all 5 national Amazon sites, and Overcat, which is LibraryThing's database. It includes 700 library systems worldwide. You can search any combination of author, title, series, publication date, publisher, ISBN, and Library of Congress number. More information is better, and ISBN is always best when searching. You can use LibraryThing to catalog your books or to interact with others, and you can check out other people's libraries, swap reading suggestions, look at reviews and ratings, write them yourself as well, and join book discussion.
I'm going to show you how to sign up for LibraryThing. All you need is username and password. However, you can sign up using your Facebook or Twitter. Now I'm adding a book, and you can use any combination of title, author, ISBN, etc. as described before, and you can also search Library of Congress, Overcat, Amazon.com, and there's also 700 other sources, but they are different language sources, so we won't use those. And as stated before, ISBN is usually better to search with because it's more specific to the book. So you'll see what happens when I search without ISBN. So this is what came up, and you see that it is mostly the same book. There are some variations: a pop-up book, picture book. This one's a German book. And yeah, over 4,000 books came up. If I wasn't picky, I just wanted the 2011 edition, I could just choose that. But because it's not the book I want, I'm not going to add it right now. If I were to add it, I would add it with the tag fiction, so it was easy to find in my library, and to the collection, just my library in general, and probably favorites. This would be a manual edition. There's an advanced option. If I had a barcode scanner, I would just scan the ISBN, and it would be really easy to find and add. You can also import if you have a Delicious account or Goodreads account. Also, if you have your own Excel file, they give you a sample down here because it is very specific in how it will upload and only accepts ISBNs. If you have a Delicious or Goodreads, etc., you can upload the URL or the HTML, and it will accept that. However, it states right in here that it will fail occasionally, more often than not. And if you try to upload many at once, especially in an Excel file, you'll get a queue down here, and that's why there's a failure here, because it happens quite often. Right now we're in my library and we're just looking at it. We could look at one of my specific collections, like favorites right now, and just see. I have most of them highly rated because they're my favorites. And here's some of my tags. You can see what people are saying specifically about this book, and we see these people have similar libraries to me based on this book. And you can also see these are the recommendations that LibraryThing will give me based on this book, and you see the check marks mean I already have it, but they recommend these books to me based on this book, which is pretty neat. There's also reviews that people are writing based on this book. You can look at different languages as well, and you see that it's fairly highly reviewed. It's getting 4 stars. I could jump into conversations as well, which are like threads or like book groups, and you can see this person didn't like it at all, so I probably wouldn't join that one. Also, you see over here, I could go directly to Amazon and order this book, go to WorldCat, or get this book at a local library. So this is a really handy site, and I'm sorry I didn't get to show you very much, but there will be more to come.
My name is Karen Ranzenberger, and I'm going to show you more features about Library Thing, how you can set up your profile and find other information about the books you enjoy, the authors you like to read, and interact with other readers as well. First, let's go under the Home tab, and as you see in the middle of the screen, there's kind of a green area that says Welcome to Library Thing. You can go to the area where you can edit your profile and add more information about yourself here so that it knows more about who you are so that it can help you customize using Library Thing for yourself. I also want to take you to the actual tab that says Profile on it, because when you click here, it tells you more about your collection, and it also helps you see some information that you've already set. For example, Library Thing has created a URL specifically for me, for my profile, and also for my catalog. Here I can gather that URL, and I can post this on my website. I could post it to Facebook or anywhere else so that others can find my information as well and interact with me. I've looked at my book collection, and right now I have it sorted this way. I can sort it in other ways, including showing the covers of the books. I can show the different series that I have collected. I can sort by authors and other different ways as well. I can add books to my collection that are books that I do not own, which as a heavy library user myself, I like to read a lot of books that I do not personally own. So it's also another feature is you can add books that you don't currently own. I might like to interact with others who are reading books that I like, or possibly even under the Groups tab, join a group that has interests similar to my own. For example, under this Groups tab, if I scroll down, I will discover that there are a lot of members. In fact, the most members of groups are those who are librarians who use Library Thing, and also science fiction fans. There are a lot of different groups that I could join and that I can interact with. Also, because I have customized a little bit of information about myself, it will also show me groups that are in my local area, which is also very helpful because I might like to interact with those who are near me and possibly meet them in person. Other ways to interact with other readers include clicking on the Local tab. This is currently customized for the Mount Pleasant, Michigan area. I can change this information to another city, and I can find others who are using Library Thing in that area. I might be able to find a bookstore or a library that is using Library Thing as well. There are a lot of other features. You can interact by importing and exporting. You can also do projects, help each other in the community. And you can find out a lot of statistics about who is using Library Thing, what kind of books have been added, what are the largest collections or libraries that people have included in Library Thing, and also if you have particular authors that you're interested in, or if you'd like to find out more about who is using those authors or uploading or reading those books. You can see that some of the most reviewed books are books such as Twilight, The Hunger Games, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And that is just some of the ways that you can use Library Thing to interact with other readers and catalog your own books and find out more about what others are reading. Well, as I and other students in our group have told you about Library Thing and its uses, how to sign up, how to catalog your books and interact with readers who enjoy the books that you like, well, we've learned how it's useful for readers and for individuals. But how can Library Thing be used as a tool for libraries and librarians? I'm Karen Ranzenberger, and that concludes my portion of the presentation today, but I'm going to turn you over to Katie now, and she's going to tell us more about how Library Thing can be utilized by libraries.
Hi, I am Katie Rothley, and I'm going to discuss how libraries are using Library Thing. Library Thing actually provides a service specifically to libraries called Library Thing for Libraries, which is intended to enrich a library's OPAC with exciting and fun 2.0 technology. The service is not available to everyone but libraries, so there is a distinction between Library Thing and Library Thing for Libraries. LibraryThing for Libraries, or LTFL for short, has many OPAC boosting products. It is installed through the proffering of lines of HTML in a file of a library's records. It works with every major OPAC or ILS and most of the minor ones. The enhancements are meant to work with the data that LibraryThing provides along with the library's records. It can be made to look seamlessly like the rest of the OPAC of a library so that no one may know the difference. And here are some of the enhancements that LTFL provides, which include shelf browsing capabilities, where they use the library call numbers and the images, reviews enhancements so that patrons can review a book, and also catalog enhancements, which allow for book recommendations, tag clouds for librarians and patrons to contribute to, and then also other editions and languages of books. Okay, here is an example of LTFL in use by Randolph County Public Library. I'll just briefly go over the enhancements. There's catalog enhancements, reviews enhancements, and shelf browsing enhancements. Book recommendations on here are right here, similar titles, and then also the rest of the series. Here is the shelf browsing application, so you can look at other books in the library's catalog by just clicking on the arrow here, and then you can just go from this page to another book's page. Also tag-based discovery, so whatever Harry Potter book has been tagged, it'll all show up here. Harry Potter's been tagged most. And then also other editions and other languages. As for instance, this one appears to be either Spanish or Italian. And then the reviews enhancement is here, and it tells you how many stars, how many reviews. We can look at the reviews here. And then last but not least is the mark record right here, where all the information is showcased here, and also the image of the book is included, along with all this information over here, including the author, the genre, and then professional reviews. LibraryThing for Libraries also does not impede the speed of a library's OPAC, as it does not involve additional loading onto a library server. It also provides the service Library Anywhere, which works in cooperation with LibraryThing for Libraries, where people with phones with data packages and internet access can connect with a particular library when and where it's convenient. Here is some quick information regarding Library Anywhere. iPhones can utilize barcode scanning to access a book's information or availability, and a patron accessing a library's catalog by phone is able to use this app with the full capabilities of LibraryThing for Libraries. It is used by 130 libraries to date. Lastly, LTFL can be branded to a library site where words can be changed. There's no reference to librarything.com, and using CSS code, the color and style of LTFL can be assimilated into the existing setup already in place. So examples of how different they can appear, here's Cass District Library and then Chimikita Cooperative Regional Library.
How are y'all doing today, folks? My name is Dan Sybil, and I will be doing the pricing and test run aspect of LibraryThing for Libraries and LibraryThing in general. What I'll be covering is the way you price your library to use LibraryThing, the test run aspect that LibraryThing offers, along with the pricing of individual use, and the benefits coming from the test run aspect of LibraryThing. Through this, I hope you get a better idea of the usefulness of LibraryThing and how they price exactly your library. And here we can see the actual pricing aspect of Library Thing for libraries. What we see here is that they charge a yearly subscription fee for their pricing, and what they do is they ask the library head librarian in charge to contact them, and they use an outside company called Bowker to help set up the pricing of Library Thing for libraries. And what this means is that they base it on the amount of transactions, your collection size, and the various other aspects of your library that determine the actual size of it. They don't wish to give out actual hard figures because of the variances that can occur. And they did actually just recently take down their pricing guide on their website concerning the actual set prices. So they do ask that you do contact them through email or any other means possible. What you can see though through this is we can see over here that for a normal patron it is $10 a year or $25 for a lifetime. And since that is for just the paid aspect, for a free account you can catalog up to 200 books. And what this says is that it's a heck of a deal for a library trying to stay ahead in these hard economic times. And if we can see that just for a regular patron it's only $10 a year, I imagine for a library institution the prices would decrease per patron quite quickly and would actually be quite a fair price. And what we can see is that through their pricing aspect, what they do let you do before they give you your prices and make you purchase is they allow you to give it a test their LTF enhancements as we see on your library site and get your feedback from your patrons. And what this does is you can give it a test run, see how your patrons like it, and if you do like it, then what you can do is you submit a Library Thing for Libraries form to them, and what it does is you set up your test account and you let them know which OPAC you're using, and based on that, they send you the files, and you can get specific files if you wish not to get the whole thing. As such, for public libraries, you can test out the shelving aspect and other things such as that. And what this allows them to do is this allows them to better cater the library thing to your branch. And here we can see the actual installation instructions for Library Thing for libraries. This part of the website, what it does is it lets you click on the appropriate OPAC for your library. And if yours is not listed, then it does allow you to contact them as well. You find your specific OPAC, click on it, and it will give you specific installation instructions for say, reviews or shelf browse, other things such as that. And here we see the different types of accounts that could use the Library Thing for libraries program and tool, as I call it. And here we see for public libraries, they give you recently some ideas of why I use them. It gives you the recommended reads. There's various other additions, the tags that come through the OPAC, that are various reasons for the public library, along with giving it an Amazon-like feel, as they say, for patrons, which is an easy, accessible feel. For academic libraries, what it does is it's different for academic libraries. It's an inexpensive way for academic libraries with the large client bases they have for them to implement this, and it would also add to the ease of access that we talked about before. And here we see at the bottom it gives various types of libraries that this will work with. It works with library consortiums and the various other non-American libraries. Pretty much works with everything that you need and is a great tool for a library to implement into their website for an ease and access and a cheap option, yet very clean and professional looking option for their library.